Hello Spartans, my name is Mr. Alvarado and I'm one of the counselors here at Pebble Hills High School, and this is going to be your senior academic presentation. Okay, so this slide tells you who your counselor is. We have added a couple of new counselors to our department, so please make sure that you familiarize with who your counselor is, because that counselor also needs to know you, because when it's time to write those letters of recommendation for either a scholarship or for a college, we need to make sure that we add not only the academic part of you, but something about you. So please make sure that your counselor knows who you are and you know who they are to begin with. So what are we covering today? So today we're going to be talking about FAFSA, your scholarships, college applications, requesting transcripts, the SAT, ACT, and TACRO, which is your college fair. All right, so what is FAFSA? So FAFSA is your free application for federal student aid, also known as financial aid. So we have three types of financial aid. We have the Pell Grant, work study, and the student loans. Pell Grant is the free money that the government has set aside for you. Some students may qualify. In previous semesters or in previous school years, we have been able to qualify students for up to $6,100. Every school year is different. Again, this is a Pell Grant, and this is money that does not need to be paid back. Another type of financial aid is work study. Work study is college or businesses that may employ students up to 19 hours a week. So this is a way of the school allowing you to earn some money to help yourself pay for school and keep some money in your pocket. And then we have our student loans. So we have the student loans where you borrow money at a low interest rate, and usually those are called subsidized, and then we have the unsubsidized. The subsidized loans are the ones that have no interest, and the unsubsidized loans are with no interest. Usually students, after they finish their degree, they start paying the loan 6 months afterwards. If you want to keep paying the loan or start paying the loan as soon as you receive the loan, then you can also do that as well. So the financial aid application is a simple process. Sometimes it's easy to fill out and sometimes it's difficult to fill out, simply because there are some questions in there that we are not able to answer on our own. For that, we have what is called FAFSA Night. FAFSA Night is an event put together by the El Paso Chambers of Commerce along with credit unions, banks, and our local universities. So our FAFSA Night is going to be taking place on Wednesday, November the 4th from 4:30 to 7 p.m. in the UCL lab here at Pebble Hills. Students and parents need to create an FSA ID using 2 different email addresses prior to that night. The FSA ID is the equivalent to the old PIN number, so your parents may actually remember that from back in the day when we went to college. But the FSA ID is something that has to be created before you attempt to complete the FAFSA application. Parents must have filed their 2019 income tax and bring it that night, because some of that information is required to complete that application. So who should attend the FAFSA Night? Any senior who wishes to receive some sort of financial aid. And one thing that our FAFSA Nights have had for the past few years is the scholarship night. So of all the seniors that attend FAFSA Nights, your name gets thrown into a hat, and 10 lucky seniors will be receiving a $1,000 scholarship. But keep in mind, this is citywide. So you can attend, that's FAFSA Night, and then somebody will be able to assist you there with your application and also give you an opportunity to earn scholarship money. So before starting FAFSA, what do we need to do? We need to complete the FSA ID. We need to create one. For that, you can just Google FSA ID or go to fafsa.gov. There you're going to be able to see what it is that it is required to complete it. It's about a 3-page application that shouldn't take you more than 5 to 7 minutes. After that, you'll be able to start the application for your financial aid. How will I pay for college if I can't apply for financial aid? There's different reasons why one wouldn't be able to apply for financial aid. One of the reasons could be that your parents do not allow you to apply for financial aid. Sometimes the answer is, well, I make too much money and you're not going to qualify. Well, perhaps because they make too much money and you will not qualify for the Pell Grant, maybe it's a good reason to apply, because if they cannot afford to pay for your college, then someone is going to have to pay for it. So it may come in the form of loans or even work study. So if you apply, especially because the income is too high, then you may be able to receive some sort of assistance from financial aid. Another reason could be because your parents will not allow you to use their income tax documents. Some parents are very protective of their information and do not wish for you to see how much they earn, or what are their assets or anything like that. So that's why sometimes they will not allow you or let you borrow the income tax documents. So what are we going to be doing in that case? If you still need to apply for some sort of financial assistance, then pretty much what you're going to end up doing is applying for a not subsidized student loan at the university. Another reason could be parents want you to enlist in the military rather than go to college. So the answer to that could be that you would still want to apply for financial aid simply because of the what ifs. What if you enlist and when it's time to take off or to go to training, something happens, an emergency, and you can't leave, but you still want to further your education? And if you would have had your financial aid done and your college application done, then it would have been a smooth transition. So that's why it's important that even if you don't plan on attending college, that you still do the financial application. So the last one that we can think of is, I can't apply because I am not a U.S. citizen or a U.S. resident. Well, that's necessarily not a problem. For more information, please talk to your counselor about FAFSA. Okay, so this is money that Texas has set aside for our students that fall in this situation. So we were talking about scholarships. Okay, so you're going to be finding a lot of scholarships around. You Google them, you're going to find thousands of them. In the counselor webpage, you're going to find a few samples of the scholarships where you can get started. One specific site that we like to promote is fastweb.com. If you are familiar with creating profiles for your different social media, then this is no different. So fastweb.com is a search engine for scholarships. So pretty much what you do there is you create your profile, and based on who you are and what your interests are, you will be receiving emails from various places that offer you those scholarships. GoingMarried.com is another tool that is used so that you can create a essay. Some of these applications for either scholarships or for college require an essay. Going Married will help out with that. So we have some scholarships available that are local. For example, the SISD Foundation. Usually it becomes available in January, and this is offered by the Socorro Independent School District. Good attendance and GPA is a must. So SISD Foundation has various scholarships available, and every student from the district can apply. There are some that are specific to a high school or to a program, but anyone can apply. And like I said, good attendance and GPA is a must. One of our local universities happens to be UTEP, and they also have a lot of scholarships. So they have academic scholarship applications. They usually do on November the 1st or on March 1st of first semester and second semester. You must have completed your applied texts for UTEP, and you must have sent them an SAT or ACT score by the due date. If you don't have an SAT or an ACT and the due date is coming up, you can also jump in and take the institutional ACT, which is the ACT test that usually you would take on a Saturday, but this one is offered at UTEP. There is a cost and for this test, but there is no waiver for it. The way this works is that you apply to take the test, you pay for it, you pick and scores are available immediate, and they are distributed to UTEP immediately as well. Check out their scholarship page so that you can learn more about scholarships, so that you can see, aside from the academic scholarships, they have other scholarships as well. And then we have your corporate scholarships. So pretty much anywhere you spend money, that company is willing to give out money to our students. Why do they want to give free money, you might ask? Well, anytime that a big company makes a lot of money, the government comes to them and say, hey, you made so much money, so now you have to pay taxes. So the company then decides to say, well, I'd rather give my money to a student than to the government, because that's pretty much what it's going to be said. Either you pay the taxes, or you may offer the money as scholarship and use it as a deduction for your company. This is why a lot of our big-time corporate companies offer scholarships. So even if you have a job in one of these companies, maybe you are eligible to apply for one of them. Walmart, Best Buy, Coca-Cola, Buick, any of these companies offer them. Some of them are as big as $20,000 for the student. So now we're going to talk about applying to college. We have 3 different types of college applications. The 3 main ones are the Common Application, which is the commonapp.org, Applied Texas, which is used for colleges in Texas, and Send.edu. universities and colleges, sometimes they have their own application page, but sometimes they don't, and they use a service, which in this case, it could be from the Common Application and SendEDU. This is one of the reasons why we were saying earlier that you need to get to know your counselor really well, and your counselor needs to know you really well, because once you apply through these different types of services, we are going to receive an email asking information about you and to talk a little bit about you. So that's why I said, if we know a little bit more of the personal side rather than the academic, then we can make a nice and juicy letter of recommendation for you. So once again, these are the 3 different types of application services, college application services out there. So continuing with a college application, at some point, you're going to be required to submit a transcript, whether it's for a college application or for a scholarship application. So how do we request transcripts? The first thing you need to know is that you need to get to know Ms. Amaya. She is your transcript clerk. So the steps are listed right here on this slide. The first thing you need to do is pay for the transcript online at the web store and print receipt. This is if you're going to be doing this online, of course. Number 2, fill out a transcript request sheet with Ms. Amaya, the transcript clerk. Number 3, turn in both the transcript request sheet and online payment receipt to Ms. Amaya. So the key word here is Ms. Amaya if you haven't caught on to it. If you're going to do this in person, then you would just go to the business office and follow pretty much the same steps. The only difference is that you pay for your transcript in person, and you still go to with Ms. Amaya, you make her your best friend, and make sure that you turn in all your documents to her so that she can send your transcript to the desired university. There's a turnaround of about 24 to 48 hours for the transcripts to be sent out. College entrance exams. So we have 2 different types of entrance exams. The first one is called the SAT. So the SAT test and the ACT test are now very similar. So some students may actually qualify for a waiver. Otherwise, you would have to pay about $51 to register for this test. So who qualifies for the waiver? The waiver is something that allows you to take the test without having to pay for it. So the students who are on their free or reduced lunch are the ones that receive such waivers. If you have not done or submitted your lunch application form, please do so as soon as possible so that you can see if you qualify for free or reduced lunch and also consequently qualify for the SAT waiver. For this, you would have to go through collegeboard.org so that you can register. The benefits of the waiver is that number 1, you get to use 2 waivers during your high school. So that means you don't have to pay up to $110 to take this test. Once you take your test, you can actually receive applications for fee waivers for college. If you haven't done so yet, once you start applying for college, you're going to see that some of them have a high application fee, maybe up to $80. But this way, if you use waiver for the SAT, then you get 4 of those college application fee waivers. Even if you're applying for the NCAA, you can use one of these waivers as well. So make sure that you see your counselor or email your counselor about a fee waiver. Now there's different procedures for us to hand over a waiver to you. In fact, the student is responsible for going into collegeboard.org and retrieving that waiver as well. So just like the SAT, we have the ACT. This is another type of college entrance exam. The information is pretty much about the same. If you want to receive a waiver, you need to fall under free or reduced lunch. To register for the ACT, you go to act.org. The benefits of using the waiver is that you can take up to 2 tests for free, and you can receive unlimited college application fee waivers when you do the ACT using one of our waivers. The ACT waiver cannot be used during late registration, and again, make sure that you see your counselor to discuss the fee waiver. So here we have the different dates, registration dates, and the test dates for both ACT and the SAT. So make sure that you apply on time, plan accordingly, and due to the COVID, right now we don't know how things are going to be running, but these are the tentative dates for both tests. If you recall, last year we had a college fair, and it is actually called TACRO, which stands for Texas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers. So this is when all these colleges showed up to the gym, and you have different representatives talking to you about their university. This time it's going to be a little bit different. We will not be having it in the gym. In fact, it'll be online. What we need for you to do is go to the website www.go go to collegefairs.com. You're going to register to get your barcode, and you're also going to register to attend the TACRO event that is held in El Paso. Our TACRO night, it used to be during the day, but now it's at night. It's going to be on Tuesday, October 20th of 2020, and then it's going to take place from 6 to 8 p.m. So just like you take your classes right now when you go in from one teacher to another, it is going to be very similar to that. So please take advantage that now we are going to be having more universities than before, simply because before some universities had a hard time having representatives in different parts of Texas. Now we get to have all the representatives from Texas at this specific time frame. So please register at go to collegefairs.com and register for the El Paso TACRO Fair for the October 20th night. One of the things that make SISD very special is that we have a really good partnership with our universities here in El Paso Community College and UTEP. We have what is called Operation College Bound. Here, both universities and college make it feasible for our students to register for college during high school. It's not like the dual credit that you're used to, but instead of having to go to UTEP or to El Paso Community College and getting those long lines to register and speak to your counselor, they bring all of that to you. So expect this sometime around March. We are going to be sending a survey very soon through your English classes so that you can tell us if you are interested in attending EPCC or UTEP. That way we can give that information to these both schools in El Paso so that they can contact you and get you ready so that you can register for college for the fall of 2021. For more information, visit your high school counselor. It's going to be mainly throughout Teams, and also you can visit the PHHS counselor webpage. That's where you're going to be finding information about scholarships, about anything to do with seniors. But more importantly, you get to visit the page, and if you need to visit with your counselor, this is where you're going to email the counselor so that we can have a meeting ready for you. Your English teacher has already provided you with a remind code for their class. We ask that you stick to that class because if you try to join another one, you might fill it up and students in that specific course or section may not be able to join. So that's why we've created several codes for each teacher. So make sure that you stick to that because we're going to start sending information such as opportunities for scholarships and other events going on that pertain to seniors. The next time that we meet with you, aside from this time, we're going to ask that you bring some stuff. So this usually happens during your spring senior interviews. So items to provide are going to be college admissions letters or military enlistment letters, FAFSA award letters, or scholarship award letters. You don't have to wait until we meet the next time. You can already be sending these letters or these documents either to your counselor or to the college advisor. Remember to search for Colleges and Scholarship Monthly and submit these items to your college advisor. We'd like to thank you for your time and for viewing this video. We hope that it had a lot of information. If anything else pops up, make sure that you keep in mind that we are working diligently to make sure that everything goes as smooth as possible during your senior year. Be in touch with us and keep an eye on your remind because we are going to be sending information almost on a weekly basis. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.